Let's do this.
Holla.
How's your day, Ben?
It was okay. Little hungover from the hockey game last night, but I'm good.
I bet.
That's right. Yeah, the who did they play? The Sharks, was it? San Jose Sharks?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm a big Leafs fan. It's
Leafs
the
fan.
first time I've ever seen the Leafs win in San Jose. So I had to go hard in the paint.
So it was
last night.
it was a good night then.
Oh, it was a great night.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to the stream for the inaugural episode of Views from the Top Rope.
That's right.
A wrestling dedicated show. The bell will ring here in about 5 minutes. We'll get a couple people in here ready to join. But hey, we're gonna talk some wrestling.
That's right.
I'm excited. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so
Yeah.
I know.
kind of came to fruition in Chicago.
Yeah.
confirmed things, and then we locked her down.
Yeah, I'm going to Dynamite in a few weeks. It's gonna be It's gonna be out here in the UBS Center, the New Islanders Arena in Long Island.
Oh, dope.
So, yeah.
I'm just looking forward to the day when AEW actually comes to the West Coast.
Of course. What was the furthest west have they gone so far?
Vegas for
Vegas?
Double or
That's right,
Double or Nothing.
Yeah, for Double or Nothing. Yep.
Yeah. Anything beyond that, it's like I think the furthest west they got was what, Houston?
Probably Houston.
Dallas?
Yeah. Yep. Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scumbags.
They're a Florida production, so
Yeah, I know.
Kyle Driver and Shaka. We need to come up with a wrestling name for you.
That's right, for Ben.
For me or for
Yeah.
Kyle?
Oh, he's Kyle Driver.
Kyle Driver.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Brody King, but that's an actual wrestler.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say because the funny thing about it is the Shaka Brody name, or at least the Brody half of it, is because of Brody in Mallrats, which is actually where Brody Lee got his
name from. Yeah.
Well, he's not.
So
he's
it's
not,
like,
is he using that name still, Brody Lee? Yeah,
he's dead.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's right. He did die this year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Damn it.
Unfortunately.
I know. But it is random that Jason Lee was the intersecting cause for both of our names.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. For all those in the comments watching, yeah, we're just gonna talk some wrestling here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Kyle and Ben are big wrestling fans, and so am I. And Pierre won't let us talk wrestling on the main show. So we're talking here.
We have to find another outlet, right? We have to go in.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll give you guys a couple more minutes, but yeah. So hopefully we're gonna try and do this every Saturday night. Man, some nights aren't gonna work, but yeah.
So
we'll make it happen.
What's that?
I said we'll make it happen.
Of course.
Yeah. Next Saturday night.
Jason, you're one of the few people to actually know this firsthand. But for those who don't know, like, as big of a wrestling fan as I am, my fiance is an even bigger wrestling fan than I am.
She is. I was. She might have to become a full-time co-host of the show as well.
I'll talk to her about that.
Yeah. I'd love to have her on.
Of course.
She was getting a little more crazy than we were at All Out.
At All Out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I think that was a lot of pent up energy based on the fact that it's been a year and a half since we've been to a show.
Exactly.
And I think the last show we actually went to was a New Japan show in San Jose. So yeah, she had a lot of like in-person stuff to kind of get off her chest.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, should we ring the bell?
Let's do it.
All right, let me go ahead and hit record here. And we might podcast this thing. Who knows?
Hey,
if it blows up. All right. Here we go. Welcome to the vault, everyone. Jason here with our dude. I'm pretty excited to call this our first episode of what we're calling Views from the Top Rope. It's going to be a very wrestling centered show. We got my beautiful co-host here, Kyle Driver, aka Kyle. You guys know him from our sports show, and of course Shaka, Brody, Ben, Hat Club Ben. We need to come up with a better wrestling name.
We do.
Yeah, you guys all know Ben from Hat Club, and me, Mead for Speed, coming at you. And what this is going to be is we're not going to go through and recap every show that happened during the week. We're not going to recap every single match. We're just going to give a little more commentary on the good things in wrestling, the bad things in wrestling, and who we thought had the best week, pound for pound, across basically all the promotions. It's going to be very, very focused on AEW and WWE, but we might sprinkle in some NJPW, some Impact, maybe some Ring of Honor once they come back from hiatus. That's a whole crazy situation there. But yeah, thank you guys. And welcome.
Absolutely, man. Excited for this, man. Been a wrestling fan since a little kid, and I'm just excited to get in here and talk about it, see what's going on.
Ben, how's it? Does this feel like we're sitting ringside?
It's pretty close to it. Right. I think the lack of noise in the background and just having to like really yell at one another, even though we're
sure
6 inches away from each other as the excitement is going on. But this is the closest we're gonna get to it.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get to talk wrestling very much. None of my personal friends are very big wrestling fans, and none of my really internet friends are wrestling fans except for you two. So we got 25 internet friends watching us right now. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with what we think was the worst thing to happen this week in wrestling.
Okay.
And Ben, since you're always the happy-go-lucky guy, I'm going to start you off with a downer. What was your worst thing in wrestling this week?
I think my worst thing in wrestling this week was definitely the entire show of Friday Night SmackDown. Raw for the most part was a close tie to it. I mean, and I'm not trying to just completely dump on WWE as I say this,
right?
But I feel like SmackDown this week really didn't have that much to give the crowd, much to give as far as storylines. And it's kind of sad to think that the only quote unquote exciting thing that really happened was the rumor build up throughout the show about, oh, hey, Brock Lesnar's coming back, like, or coming off his suspension. And it's like
suspension. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Right. Yeah. I didn't catch a lot of it. I caught bits and pieces here, but every time I tuned in, all they were talking about was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even on the show.
Nope.
Yep.
I don't know. I understand he's the biggest star that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least from a mainstream point of view.
Mainstream standpoint, yeah.
Right. But he needs to be on the show.
Correct.
Like don't jerk us around with, oh, he may or may not be coming back, and then immediately after the show start cutting promos and commercials for Brock Lesnar's return on Friday. Like, I don't know. Kyle, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go along the line with you guys. I don't want to be like the old man, get off my lawn type of guy, but it's like it just served nothing. I mean, that battle royale that ended, that was during, it was just like, what is the reasoning behind this? Like,
right.
I don't know if it's because I still live in like the nostalgic era when I grew up watching wrestling in the 90s was like when I was like, every night, Monday, Raw, SmackDown on Thursdays. It was like I was hooked in, locked in. And now I do still watch it, yes, but it's just like the storylines and what's going on. And like you said, Jason, just have Brock on the show. If you're going to continue to talk about him, just throw him on the show with this suspension that he has and the $1 million fine. I mean, just it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on as far as like production is concerned. And it's just sometimes it's really hard to watch the product that they have sometimes. It just really is. Not trying to be bashful or nothing, but it just is. It doesn't, for me, it's just not the excitement that I once experienced and I know when you're young, it's a different experience than an adult, but I feel like there's still like people our age that when they were young at that time watching the product, that have kind of reared away from it. Like you said, Jason, you don't have friends that really watch it. I might have like 2 friends that still to this day continue to watch it and on and off, it's not like every day, every Monday and Friday they're watching it. But it's because the product has kind of gone a little bit, downhill, unfortunately,
I mean, it's gotten watered down.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
They went out. I mean, for a long time, they were the promotion in wrestling until AEW got some funding and got some legs going. Impact wasn't really competing with them. Ring of Honor was, you couldn't even find that on TV if you
for a little while.
Right. So they basically signed all this talent. They had nothing to do with them. So they created 2 shows and they've just watered down the product essentially. But yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes their SmackDown shows it's nice. It's 2 hours. It's condensed. But it's a lot of filler. Like they had a battle royale for the #1 contender.
Yeah.
And Sami Zayn wins it. But then they immediately announced that Brock Lesnar is coming back. So that battle royale essentially meant nothing.
Nothing at all. Exactly.
So
and I was gonna say there's 2 things that really bothered me about Sami Zayn, especially being booked to win the battle royale. And the first is the battle royale itself, because Sunday at Survivor Series, we have the 25th anniversary of the Rock Survivor Series.
Don't even get
in which case, one, he didn't even show up for, which is hilarious unto itself.
Yeah, and all the rumors that was going on, right?
Yeah. But it's like you're going to have 2 25-man battle royales in a week. It's like, okay, that's weird unto itself. But then to have Sami Zayn when on Monday Night Raw, he lost the USA Championship match. I mean, Damian Priest had the title, but it's like you have Sami Zayn lose this, and then you're going to have him win this battle royale. It's like even from just a basic storyline, it's like this makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Right. You can't tell me Sami Zayn is ever going to be a #1 contender for a heavyweight championship.
And it sucks because I think Sami Zayn is actually honestly one of the most talented guys they have outside of Cesaro being the most talented.
Oh, that dude's an athletic freak.
He's a freak of nature, and they just continue to put him on. Just
he needs to find.
They give him no type of storyline, no type of
nothing.
Like he fought some guy that's a disciple of Sheamus this week.
Yeah.
It's like he's so much better, and I was gonna mention him. He's so much better than what they. It's like I don't know. I don't understand. Obviously, I don't know what's going on over there. But you would think a guy like him is somebody that obviously he gets great fan notoriety. He gets the support from the fans, but it's like they don't put him in those positions. I don't know
if it's his mic skills holding him back or what.
But how many guys now are good on the mic? There really aren't many. It's very few. It's not like I keep going back to the good old days where guys could do their own promos and they weren't out there getting promos written for them. They were just out there going off of their skill pretty much on how they could talk.
Yep.
Now it's like it just sounds so written and so scripted. And yes, it was scripted back then, obviously, but it just had a different feel to it.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think a lot of that has to do with just how much making the promo a big deal, at least on the independent circle, and especially with the ushering in of AEW. And, because with AEW starting out when it did, it's just like, it's one thing to have the talent, but it's like, if you don't have the guys like really selling themselves, selling the match, then it's not going to mean much to the viewer. And so AEW's done a fantastic job of bringing in not necessarily just bringing in guys, but it's like bringing in the best guys with the best mic skills.
Absolutely.
I think this last Wednesday kind of proved it with Dynamite in the sense of just having MJF and CM Punk just start off with a mic battle. And that's that's the first time they've done that. AEW's done that. Like, and Angie, my fiance, were talking about that the other, like after the promo. And it's just like, usually AEW just like fires off into
they go right into a match. Like, exactly.
Yeah,
man, this is great. I haven't had this kind of feeling for like a long time on this.
Yeah. No,
and then go ahead. Sorry.
Right. It reminded me back of, the height of the promo, if you will.
Yeah.
During the Monday Night Wars, when you had The Rock and Stone Cold and all them guys just going off on the mic. That was really refreshing to see on Wednesday.
Yeah. Because even wrestling unto itself, it's like I don't necessarily need the match itself. It's just like, if the shit talking itself can get me excited for even just what ends up turning out to be a squash match, it's like, God, you guys just did the job right there.
Exactly. That's why when I remember when AEW originally started, and I found out, you found out that Jericho was going there, it was like, fuck yeah, like besides the fact that obviously he's an older guy, so he's probably not as agile and athletic as he once was as far as wrestling. As far as his wrestling is concerned. But on the mic, he's gonna sell the show or sell the fight, whatever. He's gonna sell it, and that was so gravitating to me because I knew what he was able to do as far as that was concerned with the mic. Like he was gonna be one of those guys that you could just sit there and listen to for 15, 20 minutes, and you're gonna be, you're gonna be all in. Like,
yeah. And actually, the one thing I go back with Jericho and the point that really pushed that was when they brought Jake Hager in to be his enforcer for the Inner Circle. Hager didn't say a single word, but the crowd just kept saying, we the people, and Jericho just cut it in, and it's just like, it was a stupid idea from bad creative, and the crowd ate it up and immediately fell in love with Jericho over again, and Jake Hager for that matter.
Exactly. That was incredible when he did that. He's like, because it sucked.
All right. So we established that SmackDown sucked this week.
Yeah.
Kyle, what was your worst thing in wrestling this week?
So I don't want to go along. I want to kind of bring something, but I will bring something different. I think obviously he's a guy that's he's been wrestling for 20 plus years. He's kind of getting over again, should I say? Now that he's back, and I'm Jeff Hardy. I feel like Jeff Hardy should get a much bigger push than he's getting at the moment. I know he kind of just recently returned. But I believe it was on SmackDown. They had him in a double in a was it it wasn't a singles match.
No, it was a doubles
match. It was a doubles match with Drew McIntyre, and I just feel like he's a guy. Obviously, the crowd knows him. People know him.
Yep.
Everybody. He's been around. He's a historic wrestler, obviously, from his high flying moments and all of that. But I feel like he's a guy that he can definitely push a storyline because he knows what he's doing. He's been involved for so long. And I definitely want to see it. So the downside is that he was in a doubles match. So I want him to be, I want them to push him more towards a singles, probably main event type of situation. Maybe with Roman Reigns, maybe with Big E. There's different routes they can go. I know he can definitely do the job though. So that's kind of what I'm down about. Now he's not getting pushed more.
Yeah, I agree. And they do occasionally will bring him up. To the championship level, but if he wins it, which he very rarely does, he doesn't hold on to it for very long. He hasn't been one of their stars really since Matt left. I mean, the whole Hardy Brothers thing that carried WWE, especially the tag team division, for almost 2 decades, right? But I don't know. I'm actually quite surprised he's still with the promotion.
Yeah.
I think it was financial. I mean, at the time, just because Matt had left and Jeff's contract was coming up in about like 3 months after the point in time when Matt was with AEW. And of course, the talk of wrestling fans was like, oh shit, let's hopefully AEW, steps in, grabs Jeff, get Jeff and Matt together, blah, blah, blah. But then, WWE threw this big contract to Jeff just because it's like, well, we need to keep one half of the Hardy brand here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And for his age, it's like, I get it, from a financial perspective, I get it. But to add on to what you were saying, as far as, the type of a wrestler he's kind of become, he reminds me a lot of Heath Slater. And I don't mean this negatively. Heath Slater was the guy who it's like, hey, we need you to do this, this, and this as more of an enhancement talent type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff has kind of become that guy, but in a veteran position.
Yeah.
So I don't know when his next contract is up, but I feel like the wheels are kind of moving in his brain that he can't, at least I hope he can't stay in WWE much longer. Like, he and Matt need to do one more big thing together. And I feel like him going over to AEW might be that thing.
Right. I mean, they haven't been
especially with the Bucks. It's like they could turn something amazing together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, you're right. Them two.
The tag team division in AEW is insane, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
Insane right now. So I don't know. They haven't been together for a while though, right? Because wasn't Matt at Impact for a long time?
Yeah, he was.
Well, I know he was at Impact, and then they came to WWE, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
They showed up at WrestleMania, I think it was, like 4 years ago, and then for a while, and then that's when Matt went off to AEW, which was kind of I mean, I would think it was probably about a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think it was last summer.
Yeah, last summer, I think he jumped over. So yeah, it has. I mean, it hasn't been too long, but like you said, it would be great to see them do one last big thing, because they are it's coming to an end soon for them.
Dude, Matt can hardly even walk anymore.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the guy when he's out there. Like he can't bend at the waist.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I think it's like bottom 8 vertebrae are fused together or something. I don't know.
All that abuse those guys took on tables and ladders and
damn,
it's finally caught up.
Yeah, it would also be nice to see Matt transition out of the big money Matt role and into one of his other characters again. I think that's the thing that's like begrudging to watch every week, is just like, oh, Matt, big money Matt. It's just like, I'm kind of over this.
It was almost like the V1 edition when Jeff had left.
Yeah.
And he turned it to Matt Hardy version 1. It was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this?
I have a hard time keeping up with Matt Hardy's character. So.
Yeah.
He changes them more than he does his wardrobe. So.
Definitely.
Anyway. I'm gonna continue to pick on WWE this week.
Do it.
And say the whole concept of Survivor Series is my worst thing in wrestling this week.
Yep.
Ever since they did the brand split like 6 years ago,
Survivor
Series is always one of the big four, right?
Yep.
You had SummerSlam, WrestleMania,
Royal Rumble.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brain fart and Survivor Series.
Yep.
And then they did the brand split thing because again they had too many stars for one show.
Yep.
So they had to split it into 2 separate shows. And Survivor Series has become this all-star game type competition where they
versus Raw.
There's cross league champion versus champion, which is cool, fine, whatever, but it does nothing to advance storylines. It does nothing to promote some of the lesser wrestlers. Yes, they put a few of them into the traditional Survivor Series match, the 5-on-5 thing. But not enough of them. And I don't know. I think this whole brand versus brand at Survivor Series has run its course. It's just time to do something different with it.
Agreed.
I don't know if it's turn it back into a more traditional pay-per-view, actually, I don't know, have the winners of the match actually take the belt and switch brands or something, right? Just change it up a bit. But like, sure, it's cool to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair again, but the match meant nothing.
Yeah, because like you said, they're two different brands. So
right.
Those titles respectively to each brand, it's like it's not gonna the storyline's not gonna continue after that match. There's nothing else that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and all the build up to it, it's just like fake. I mean, they're cutting promos with the other people not even in the building.
Exactly.
Like, who are you talking to? You're talking. So I don't know. It's just run its course, and it's time to either rethink the brand thing, or rethink Survivor Series in general, or just do something different.
I think it's just rethink Survivor Series, because from what it's been the last few years, it's like, how is this any different from what you guys are doing for a Night of Champions?
Right.
Because that concept I can wrap my head around. It's just like, okay, all the belt winners going against each other in some capacity. It's like, it is a great concept, but to do it on one of the main 4 pay-per-views makes absolutely no sense. And especially when WWE has so much talent. Like, the brand split aspect of it doesn't bother me as much as the lack of utilization of the people you have, and you're still going to cram the same 20 people down our throats. And you have your one women's 5-on-5, and you have your one men's 5-on-5. But we look back in the 90s of what Survivor Series was, and it was like, it was 5 matches of 5-on-5 matches, and it's just like, how with the influx of talent you can't put this together.
It's a situation. We keep going back to it. I don't know what the production staff and who's, obviously we know who's the one calling the shots is Vince. Obviously we know he's the one that has final say, and I don't know if it's because he's older now, and I'm not trying to, I don't know what's the reasoning, like you said, Ben, that they're not this using that talent that's good, but they just put on cards that are not even, it doesn't even mean anything.
Because I feel like a guy like Dolph Ziggler can put a great 5-man team together of even just jobbers and scabs, and it's just like, you know what, we're gonna work our ass off, we're gonna have a great match, but nope. Instead we're gonna push the Cleopatra egg. Which somehow that was not the worst thing of the week for all of us.
I honestly wanted to forget about it. Like, I get you're pumping The Rock and pumping his new movie and whatnot, but the whole tying it into your stories and actually giving out like championship contention matches on who finds the lost egg, or actually Austin Theory loses the egg. And should have been fired. But Vince is like, oh, okay, how about a championship match instead? I'm like, what?
Exactly.
There's no consistency. There's no. I get to promote The Rock's movies, and he doesn't even show up 2 nights in a row.
Exactly.
That bothers me. Like you want to promote your stuff, fine. Show up.
Exactly.
Come in, do a 2-minute promo, you're out.
Exactly. It'll cause shit hysteria if he does that. Just for, like you said, for 5 minutes, people go crazy.
But he doesn't even show up. And honestly, the movie's not that great.
Yeah.
I know.
I watch it. I mean, it's okay. It's in the good, just a popcorn movie. Like, but anyway, well, that's a whole different show. But the Cleopatra gig.
The one thing it's been bugging me all week, or at least through Austin Theory or Sami Zayn bringing in Austin Theory to snitch him out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, it's like, why does this scenario sound familiar? And then I went back to season 2 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when Charlie stole all of Frank's money and he and Mac went on to town, and then Frank ended up promoting Charlie because of his aggressive business tactics, etc. It's like it was literally the same concept, and it's just like, really? Okay.
That probably would have been my worst thing, but that was a little too obvious, I guess.
Yeah, right. That was like,
Yeah.
2 nights in a row on top of that.
But since Ben already brought it up earlier, I'll go ahead and get started with my best thing this week. That was the MJF and my brain is not fucking working today.
CM Punk.
CM
I'm wearing the shirt, man.
I know. God damn it. In Chicago, CM Punk doing just mic work. MJF really playing the role of the heel very, very well. Trying to hit him with a zinger after zinger after zinger, and CM Punk just responding like a true babyface should. And then when things started to get physical, MJF ran the hell out of there. That was just classic babyface heel mic work.
Yep.
Pumped the crowd up. Yeah, it went 20 plus minutes, but it was 20 great minutes of television. I know we didn't even see a wrestling match, but it was like, I don't know. It was just really, really good professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope we get MJF is, I hate the guy, but I will say he's doing his job because I do hate him.
Exactly.
He plays that heel so well. Especially on the mic and outside of the ring.
Yeah.
You just have to hate the dude. And to have both those guys push each other, that was a great idea. Something AEW doesn't do a lot, and I hope they do more of it if it's going to be this level.
Yeah, and the one thing I will add to that is the fact that both of them got away with John Cena references, insulting one another with them,
and Triple H.
And that got over huge with everybody. Mm-hmm. It's just like you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up the good work. I will keep tuning in every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, we are talking about make-believe stuff, but I don't care. This is like
exactly. Who cares?
This is like three guys talking about movies.
That's
or three guys talking about whatever. It's entertainment.
That's
right.
We're
having fun.
We all know it's scripted, and we all know, but we like talking about it. We like watching it.
Yep.
I will add this to it. Wrestling is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Exactly.
We're not the only ones. Talking about it.
Not the only ones.
Far from
it. What's up, Star? How's it going, man? All right, Kyle, thoughts on MJF and CM Punk ripping it up on the mic?
So it was, you pretty much mentioned it. It was so refreshing to see that. And like Ben mentioned earlier, usually AEW, when they start their shows, they come out and it's a match immediately.
Yep.
So they kind of did something different. They came out with two guys that are great on the mic. A promo for, like you said, Jason, it ran 20 minutes, but it was 20 minutes that was, you didn't want to step away from the TV to stop watching it. It was funny.
Now to be fair, CM Punk was out there to wrestle a match.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
No, he was.
And
exactly.
so
and then happens that MJF came out. Exactly.
Right.
But it was funny when he talks about CM Punk mentions that MJF is sour because he wasn't he was pretty much sour about not being one of the guys he wanted to wrestle when he came back to AEW, when he came to AEW. So he called him a less famous Miz, I believe it was. So it was just it's what he does, right? We all know CM Punk. He's one of the great promo cutters of all time, honestly, in my opinion. He gravitates, he brings you in, he makes you feel it. So it was great to see that, man. It reminded me of the old days, honestly. It really did. It really did.
And I think the build up to whatever it becomes with the two of them, at least in the ring, outside of microphone, it is going to be great because MJF has, in his short career, has proven he's got the chops. He's no longer green. His mic skills are hands above a lot of the rest of the talent in any brand. And of course, CM Punk, of course, in his even in his older years, he's still good. I mean, from a wrestling perspective, the GTS, occasionally needs a little bit more work, but so what? The rest of the match is great. So getting the two of them to work together, an old and young aspect of things, I think is going to work incredibly well.
And AEW has done a lot of that, bringing the old and the young and using the old to push the young. I think it's great to see, instead of just having two old guys out there wrestling. They're mixing up. They're using the veterans to push the rookies and the younger guys, and vice versa. And I think it's a great formula.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, Jason, that's one thing that the other promotion, we constantly see that they bring these old guys in. It's like, we've seen this already. We've seen it.
I don't need to see Goldberg anymore
at all. We've seen this.
And I know he doesn't need the money.
Exactly. I don't want to see. I love him. One of the best. The Undertaker, please don't come back.
He's my top 5 of all time.
Exactly. Don't come back for WrestleMania. Like, that's it. You don't have. What else do you have to prove? At least to us, from the promotion and their standpoint, I get it why they do it. Obviously.
Yeah,
we all get it. The money aspect, you pretty much have to do it. But just as a fan, it's like, it's frustrating seeing these old guys that continue to like hold on, and it's like you just don't have it anymore. And what makes it worse is they put them together. It's like they'll put these two old guys together. Like Jason, like you said, AEW, they bring the older guy, they bring the younger guy, they bring them together. It's more thrilling. With these two old dudes, it's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see it no more.
I will say the one old young combination, I'm still a little confused on. I don't hate it, but I'm still a little confused as far as like how long this is going to continue to be a thing, is Jurassic Express and Christian Cage.
Yeah. Just
because I don't feel like Christian Cage has been long enough, or been in AEW long enough to like really need to buddy up with another group. And so I question if this is just more, hey, we just need to do something with him, or maybe this was his idea, in which case it's like, okay, I can respect that. But at the same time, I also feel like you had enough good enough. That was just a poor sentence. You had a lot of great momentum coming in, some decent matches so far, some good rivalries building up, but then now all of a sudden you're with Jurassic Express, who's been budding with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, which is fine, but it's a lot of young, and then why is this one random old guy here?
Old guy there,
yeah.
That's true. All right, Ben, your best thing this week.
I actually got two. One I'm gonna push a little bit harder, and that's because Bryan Danielson is the real deal.
Yeah.
To go from Chicago at All Out, and being a face, to now he's back in Chicago and he's a heel, and we're only talking about a couple months,
2 months,
and just to have the crowd in the palm of his hand,
right,
easily. Bringing back the word fickle. Amazing.
I fucking hate that word. God, but it's because he uses it as a heel, like calling all the fans fickle, but I hate it, dude. I did not like that whole character he did, the green, like, peace warrior.
The Planet's Champion.
The Planet's Champion. No, I hated that thing. But,
oh God, I loved it.
but yeah, no, this whole fickle guy, the fickle character, I love that. Like, I hope they really push that in AEW, and until they get a baby face in there that can then flip him back to being a face, right? Yeah. But I don't know who that's going to be. Maybe it'll be a CM Punk.
Could be.
I could see that coming down the pipe, but
we'll
see where this goes.
Yeah.
Right, but he is one of the best wrestlers in the game right now. Just not only in ring, but his promos, his character development. I'm so glad he came back from his neck injury.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was unfortunate, obviously, those years that he wasn't able to wrestle due to those injuries. He suffered. So it's great. Mm-hmm. It's great. And it's great to see him as a heel, because that's not something usually you've never really seen Brian Danielson. I always say Daniel Bryan.
Right.
It's refreshing to see him in as a heel rather than being green, because you've always kind of seen him as the guy that was the good guy,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. See him in a new element and something there, and it worked. He's able to do it. It's not like he's able to pull it off just as good, if not even better. So it's great to see him, man.
I agree. Absolutely. And what was your other best thing?
My other best thing was Eddie Kingston finally getting a win after a ridiculous streak of just getting his ass kicked by Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. The list goes on. Because the reality on it, he's a great worker. Everybody loves him. It's good to see a guy like that finally getting his flowers, because I'll be honest, prior to him coming to AEW, I had no idea who he was.
A big independent guy.
Big independent guy. I wasn't that strong and independent outside of what was going on the West Coast, but him being primarily East Coast based, it's like, it's not a knock on him for that. It's just information didn't travel my way in regard to that. So just because I felt like the matches he was getting in were great. Obviously his mic skills are amazing. And so to continue to push this, angry, nobody has respect for me kind of a character, but then just keep losing. It's like, nah, you gotta get him some W's in there somewhere. And so even though it was, with Daniel Garcia, nothing against him in regard to that. So but I still felt like it was actually one of the better matches for Rampage this week.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much as Riho Britt Baker, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, the Riho Britt Baker.
Oh, that's because you got a secret crush on Britt Baker, or your wife.
No,
or your fiance does. One of the two. I can't remember which one it is.
I'll have her tell you that story of Britt Baker.
Okay. All right, Kyle, your best thing this week.
So there was a few, but I have to give props to these guys over at WWE, Roman Reigns and Big E.
Yeah.
I really it was a really good match amongst these guys on Survivor Series. Obviously, it was on Survivor Series, so it was a pay-per-view. But obviously Big E,
Roman
Reigns came. I'm sorry, Roman Reigns came out on top on that one. But it was just overall good fight. I mean, typical.
It was rushed.
Yeah, suplexes and things like that. But I enjoyed it because these are two guys that are obviously the faces of their respective brands, SmackDown and Raw. They're the champions of both, obviously. So it was definitely I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love Big E. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Might be the Iowa ties there coming out on that one a little bit, but he's just a really fun guy to watch. And Roman Reigns obviously for whatever reason is the face of that of the WWE and has been for a long time. I don't know if Vince owes his family money or what, but he probably does owe that.
Probably does, money, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
His father. Cool.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like Roman Reigns because I actually think he's a really talented wrestler.
Absolutely.
Just the in-ring stuff, the out-of-the-ring stuff. And so to see CM Punk and not Big E and Roman Reigns put on a great show, even though it was absolutely at a pointless show.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them wrestle more. I mean, even Big E has always been as a tag team individual.
Yeah.
And wasn't until this summer when they had their draft, if you will. They split up New Day. But I'm glad they're actually pushing him now.
Yeah.
He's a champion, and I hope he continues to roll.
Yeah. Well, to add on to your Roman Reigns point, I mean, I think it's this version of Roman Reigns that we've been waiting for so long. And I mean, granted, it's been going for It hasn't been a
Right.
full calendar year yet, or
It's probably been a year. Yeah, about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's about fucking time that Vince finally puts the blinders on and, you know, cuts his vision of what he wants Roman to be. And it's just like, just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy with the success he's having with this version of that character because it was long overdue. But at the same time, I agree. It's just like, well, shit, are we gonna when's the next transition and champion or story at least? And I feel like Biggie could have, you know, it would have been fine if he had won that.
Right. There would have been nothing hurt if he had won that. And in fact, it would have fired Roman Reigns up even more.
With Brock
Lesnar coming back.
Yep.
Hey, he's got to wash that taste out of his mouth and go beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar, right? So
exactly.
I think it would have maybe pushed the storyline, but instead it's just continuing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns isn't unbeatable.
Exactly.
Right.
The smartest guys in the room are usually not the ones in WWE offices. So.
That's because they let them all go.
Yeah, so I have a question, if you don't mind me asking. It's related to the WWE. Do you think I mean, we know Vince has final say in everything that goes on there. But who do you think is like somebody that's really, really, really in his ear that's determining what's going on? Is it Stephanie? Is it Triple H? I mean,
it's a lot Triple H.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Triple H is the one that eyes all the talent.
Yeah.
And basically decides who gets of the new guys who get the bumps and who doesn't.
Yeah.
As far as like the creative goes, I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's like you don't really know,
because it's not Bischoff anymore. It's not.
No.
Is Bruce Pritchard still around? I mean,
Bruce Pritchard is still around.
Yeah, he's still around.
Yep.
It's just.
I actually kind of agree with what you were saying in regard to Stephanie, because the fact that Stephanie being so much more of the business mind of things that are going on, product and content, etc. Triple H obviously being more on the talent relation side of things. But it's tough. I mean, it's tough to gauge that just because the fact that final say always goes with Vince, and so it's hard to say, like, does anybody have any effect on his judgment in any capacity? Right. I don't see it.
No.
And I think the Cleopatra egg is the biggest example of that recently.
I think the number of concussions that he's had over the years is finally starting to catch up to him a little bit.
Oh, big time.
He's about what, 72, 73 already?
He's got to be older. I think he's in his 80s.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, he is.
Jesus.
Yeah. He still looks incredible, but
steroids will make anybody look young.
That's right.
I guess he's only 76.
Okay.
But
well,
anyway,
I still think the biggest mistake that he made was, you know, and I'm sure it took Triple H. I don't think he's over it yet, but it's taken a while. The fact that he rebranded NXT again to be developmental as opposed to the NXT brand that what it became. Itself. I mean, it started as developmental and became its own brand, but just to do it so abruptly, it's just like, why?
I'm confused by NXT.
Yeah, to this day, I'm still confused.
Is it an equal brand?
Yeah.
If it is, why is it not on Survivor Series?
Yep.
Why aren't they pushing it more?
Yeah.
If it's not developmental, then why are we having, Charlotte Flair and Finn Balor and all these,
show up on NXT?
Yeah, show up on NXT. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Decide what it is.
Yep.
And go that direction. Don't flip flop back and forth though. But we'll save that for a different show.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even watched NXT in a while because I don't even know what it is.
Rebranded it, I haven't watched it at all.
Yep.
It used to be. In fact, at one point, it was my favorite show.
Yeah.
Same.
In the WWE. But
they were the best at one point. Exactly.
It was the best in action wrestling. In ring wrestling of the three brands. But who knows what it is anymore?
I know.
All right. That was good. That was good. So before we get out of here and before we take any more of your guys' times on a Saturday night, I just want you guys to go around the room. Which wrestler had the best week? But if we had to rank your pound for pound for this week, number one wrestler, who would it be?
Oh, that is.
I'll start. Give you guys time to think about it, and I'm going to go
good.
a little,
Yes, please.
little off the board. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Just because her and Charlotte Flair actually have had real life issues with each other, and she's just coming off of having a baby. Congrats to Becky, but to come into Survivor Series and get the win in actually a really decent match. But to show that they're able to set aside their differences, wherever they may be in real life, and actually put on a great show, just goes to her professionalism as a wrestler. And I'm glad she got the bump. I think she got the championship way too soon after coming back. That's a different story, but I think she had a really good week because of that. So Becky Lynch will be my wrestler of the week.
I like that. I am going to go with, I for whatever reason, I had to go back through my notes and double check on this one. I'm going to go with Dante Martin. I think had the best week ever, joining Team Taz.
Okay.
I think it's, and I think it's going to legitimize Team Taz a little bit more. I think the Brian Cage depletion, whatever's going on with him, because he hasn't been on the show for a while. Like really kind of took them back a bit. No offense to Ricky Starks. I think he's the most talented guy in that group. So it'll be interesting to see what Ricky Starks and Dante Martin kind of do together, at least until Dante Martin's brother comes back healthy. And then we'll see where the storyline goes from there. But no, Dante Martin's great. Everybody loves him. And, we talk about young talent up and coming. He needs to work on his mic skills maybe a little bit more, but the wrestling is there.
Yeah. That's my one little knock on AEW. And I think they overuse the faction.
Yeah, they do.
A little bit. Because this whole Team Taz they're always talking about factions, and honestly I have a hard time keeping up who's in and who's out and whatnot. But and WCW and WWE back in the day, or WWF back in the day, used to really have the whole faction thing, and I think AEW just needs to tone it back just a little bit.
Fair.
Like that, and some of their factions are like, I don't know, 10, 15 people in it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like hard to keep track of who's who and who what. Like, so these guys will never wrestle, or will they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I blame Matt Hardy on that one. Just assembling the money family. I think it's what it's called, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I thought it was mostly Cody and the Young Bucks.
And the Young Bucks
initially had that.
And then they had their group, and then Jericho came in with the what's the guy's names? Oh God, I forgot the Spanish. The Puerto Rican guys. What's their name again? The group.
Ortiz and
Ortiz and I forgot the other guy's name, but them, they had their faction. Yeah, so
I don't know. I can't think of the other guy's name right now. Oh, Ortiz and Santana.
Yeah, there we go.
God.
There we go.
But I don't know. The factions, I'm just not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
When there's so many, it's just hard to keep track.
Maybe it's building into, their own potential Survivor Series.
Could be.
Possibly.
Could be.
That would make sense, at least to me.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So Dante Martin, your wrestler of the week. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Kyle.
So for me, I'm gonna go with Bryan Danielson this week, man. I love the heel turn. I love what he did by turning heel.
Yep.
Bringing Fickle back. I mean, it's great seeing him. Obviously, he faced Colt Cabana this week, so he's a guy from Chicago that he faced. So obviously but that's besides the point. Just being Bryan Danielson, like I said, being back, and it seems like he's possibly going to have a somewhat of a storyline with Adam Page. From the
Yeah.
looks, it seems like that's where the direction is going to be going at the moment. So I mean, listen, Daniel Bryan, man, Bryan Danielson, just him turning heel is the best. It's the best, honestly. It really is.
Yeah.
His work as a heel is incredible. He's a perfect opponent for Adam Page, for Hangman Page. So it's something that I'm really gonna enjoy and see what comes from it. So for me, he's got it for this week.
All right. I actually was gonna pick him, but I figured one of you, especially Ben, might actually pick him.
I had to go a different direction. I was like, I'm gonna go a different direction with this.
Right. So I decided to go. I decided to go the ladies route. But
no, but yours was good though. Yours was, because that was a good match between them.
It was. It was probably one of the two best matches from Survivor Series. So I totally agree.
It really was.
Yeah. Well, and I heard they had actually fucked up the production on Survivor Series.
Oh yeah.
Like they had the order all set, and then somebody switched it that afternoon, and so Lynch and Flair were originally scheduled to be the headliner.
Oh man,
got flipped, and then the 5-man tag team took too long.
Yeah,
and they had a hard stop of 11:35. So the final match between Roman Reigns and Big E was actually cut short.
Yeah.
Like actually got rushed a little bit. Yeah, so that took away from it a little bit as well. So, but yeah, I've never put on a wrestling show before, so I can't imagine it's probably that easy. But
yeah,
imagine it's probably like putting on a live play or something like that.
Yeah,
you spend months rehearsing it, and who knows what happens on show night, right?
Exactly.
But, you know what? What's funny that none of us mentioned? I feel like we should just do it right now at the end. The fan who attacked Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw.
That's right.
I had that as my backup worst thing.
Yeah.
But apparently that even before I started watching wrestling was a thing. Fans would attack heels on a nightly basis.
Even much more back then. Exactly.
That was almost expected. But but how the hell does that guy get through security?
I know, right?
How does he get to the ramp? That's what I want.
I don't know if you guys seen the video, the main video, obviously, when it shows him running. If you look, I know it's a lot of shit to watch, but if you look in the back, the dude comes running down the steps and just completely jumps over the barricade. So even if I'm pretty sure there was probably security there, but it was just so quick that it was like, and you see he just came running full speed around that corner.
Right.
I thought it was scripted initially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think Seth handled it well.
Oh yeah.
He got the advantage just as the security was getting there.
Yeah.
I think he would have beat the shit out of that dude.
Yeah.
Had security not gotten there.
Yep.
But no, I thought he handled it very professionally.
Yeah. He probably beat the shit out of him in the back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they roughed him up once they got him behind the curtain a little bit. But
it wasn't like Cash Wheeler when that fan attacked Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, at the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah.
Crazy. But guys facing 2 charges, which is
assault, right?
Assault
and big time.
That's
interrupting a production.
Got you.
Yep.
So, which is I'm guessing the same charge you'd face if you ran naked across a football
field. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that the charge you face, Ben, when you do that?
I didn't realize I've done that, but I'm gonna guess so.
Of the ones in the room, you're the one that was most likely to have done it. But
oh yeah, no, for sure. I've run onto many of football fields in my day, but it was always after the game, at least.
Okay. Very good. Well, fellas,
thank you
for joining me tonight.
Absolutely.
In the weeks to come, maybe we'll mix it up, but for the most part, we'll go our worst thing, best wrestler. Pay-per-views might change that a little bit. Maybe we'll do a live watch party one night. But so views from the top rope every Saturday night. I hope you guys can join us. Any party thoughts, guys?
I would say just to anybody watching, anybody who watches later, to the guy who said it's make believe, especially. Right. Wrestling is fun. Wrestling is entertaining. Wrestling is a great thing to talk about. Yeah, in the great lexicon of life, it's not that important, but so what? Not a lot of things are.
There's a lot of other things that aren't either.
just treat it as something fun to do and something fun to talk about. And
absolutely,
it is the closest that men will ever have to a soap opera, and that's
exactly.
Absolutely, I agree with everything Ben said. Had a great time tonight, and for the guy like you said who said it's fake, it might be scripted, but those bumps ain't fake. Those injuries ain't fake. So they're really out there doing things, jumping through things, falling on things. So it might be fake, it might be scripted, but it's not fake.
The outcome is scripted, but the wrestling is not.
The wrestling is real. Exactly. Those bumps, those hits are real.
Yep, absolutely. Again, thanks, guys. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, comment if you want to see some different topics, suggestions, whatnot. Hit the subscribe button. Go to viewsfromthevault.com for all your merchandise needs. And for Ben and Kyle, this is Jason. See you guys later.
Later.